Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, guys? We're not live. We're recorded here on YouTube doing C10 America Mornings right here. Hey, what's up? It is Sunday, August 10th at 11:37 a.m. Can you believe that? That is, awesome. This whole month, this whole year is going by. That is, you know, that's crazy, man. It's going, real quick. Anyways, folks, I should have got on yesterday and did another, YouTube video for you yesterday, but I was over at Dad's helping Dad with, the front yard and all that stuff. So I thought, hey, I'm gonna get on here and do, a YouTube video. And plus, if you guys out there, you're listening to us on, you know, C10 America Talks, our worldwide podcast out there. I need to say, big shout out to, everybody over on, the podcast. We know we haven't put a podcast up for, a couple months. We've been busy working here and, the studio and, all that good stuff. I'm not saying anything bad about, the being busy and all that. Being busy is so cool. It's a blessing, guys, out there. But I want to welcome each and everybody to, if you're watching us, on YouTube, all our YouTube fans and followers out there, you guys rock. And then, matter of fact, last night I was talking to, a buddy of ours, Dan Jackson, and, his son, Anthony Jackson. They're out of Las Vegas. Excuse me. They're out of Las Vegas, Nevada, guys. And, talking to Dan, he said, oh, yeah, by the way, you have a package, in the mail coming to you on Thursday. And I'm like, Jiminy Cricket, what is that for? And he said it's a big, pretty much a big thank you to, you. And I said, you know what? I do what I do because, I love it. And, if I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it. And see, when me and Dad lived in California for, all that time with, Mom and all that, I did have a 9 to 5 or, 8 to 5 job, out there, but yet, I kept on doing all the, at the time, the hot rod stuff, on the weekends, going to car shows, going to truck shows, yada, yada, all that type of, stuff. And hey, guys, we lived in Temecula, California, right down there between Riverside and between San Diego. We lived right down there. And they have a hit television show down there on Netflix in Temecula called, From Rust to Riches. And it's Gotham Garage, Martel, right down there. And that's awesome. If you guys don't know, Mark and myself are real good buddies. His friends and my friends, we hung out together at, a couple of local, watering holes. We'd go out there, to country dance and, hang out on Friday and Saturday nights and, all that. I know for a fact that Mark was he was working on forever and a day to get his show, going, get it picked up by, the networks, out there. And finally, it's weird. Me and Dad had moved to Texas, and after we got here, I flipped on Netflix and I was going through it, and I saw his show, and I'm like, dude, how cool was that? My buddy Mark from Temecula got his show, finally, that, he's been working on, all this time. That is awesome. So anyways, I want to thank each and everybody, out there. If you're here on YouTube watching, excuse me, that is, awesome. And then, if you guys out there on, the podcast or listening, that is so cool. And hey, guys, I did not know that I could do this. Sorry about, not putting out a podcast for, a couple months, but, I've been busy here. I'm pretty much, tell you guys, I'm a one-man band. I'm playing like all the instruments in my band, that being all my different computers, all the different, hats. I'm either doing mental prints, I'm talking to people about advertising, talking to people, about doing the interview on the podcast, but you know what? I love doing it. If I didn't love doing it, I would not keep on doing it. And that is awesome. And big shout out to, my future mother-in-law, Fern, right out there in Red Oak. Fern and Jim, they got us, this mic here. It's an Infinity mic. It's awesome. What you guys on the podcast are listening to is very, very, strong and, firm, I believe. And it sounds real, good, whether, we use it for, we use it for YouTube. And then, of course, this is, the first time that we use it for, the podcast. And then we use it for, remember, guys, we do have a live over in, the Facebook group, which is C10 America over on Facebook. And we do lives from Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. We've been doing that for like well over 2.5 years, almost 3 years. We do it at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. So you can tune in from wherever you're at. We even have, some folks tuning in from, Hawaii, from New York, from Colorado. By the way, guys, my buddy Jeff, a.k.a. Roller, from Rolling with Roller and Derek, he has an awesome YouTube channel right here on YouTube. And it's called Rolling with Roller and Derek. How cool is that? And they go out to, these car shows and events each and every, Friday, and whenever, the car shows and truck shows, come up, they're normally, out there. Anyways, if I can, I want to say a big shout out to Mini Mic Pro. Mini Mic Pro. Now, these mics, they're freaking awesome. If you're listening over on, the podcast, Mini Mic Pro is a little Bluetooth Wi-Fi microphone that hooks up to your phone, or it hooks up to your smart device. So, anyways, the Mini Mic Pro is a wireless microphone. It has a little clip on it. You can clip it on the front of your shirt, on the side of your shirt, and it plugs right into your phone, so you can use it for a podcast, or you can use it for like Jeff and Derek do. Every time they go out there, they do an awesome, or they go out to an awesome show, and they do interviews, out there. They use, the Mini Mic Pro. Anyways, I was doing a live probably, a couple months ago, and then Jeff was on there, and after the live got over, Jeff came and texted me, and he's like, "Hey, Rich, if you can, tell me a little more about the Mini Mic Pro if you can." So then I proceeded to tell him, it's an awesome Bluetooth wireless mic. It works on Android. It works on Apple. And I thought, for example, first off, it only worked on Android. But then I found it, no, I can use it on Apple. That's totally awesome. So, anyways, in the one pack of, the Mini Mic Pro box, you get two, count them, 1, 2 mics that come in the box, and then a receiver, comes in the box also, and a little adapter connection. So if you have an older iPhone that has, the lightning cable plug on it, it comes with a plug that you plug in. The regular plug on the receiver is a USB-C. A USB-C, and it plugs into the adapter for, the lightning port. So, hey, let me downsize, this here. Go ahead and downsize that. Anyways, it comes with, the lightning port adapter, and it comes with 2 mics, either the windscreen, the little foam round windscreen, or it comes with the bigger, fluffier windscreen. I prefer, the bigger, fluffier windscreen, because I think that holds up better in, wind and, all that stuff. So, anyways, big shout out to Mini Mic Pro. You can find these over at the website minimicpro.com, or better yet, you can find them over at Amazon as well. Amazon.com. I'm not affiliated with Amazon. Wish I was, and then I'd be making some good money. That's awesome. We're not affiliated with, Mini Mic Pro. However, we love the product. Whoever invented Mini Mic Pro, I love you, man. I love this product out there. And if you're listening, I would take and, that little clip you have on there. I have one thing to say about it. That Mini Mic Pro, that little clip that you clip on the shirt, you have it stationary. You need to make it so it swivels, because not all of us want it up and down. We need it sideways, or, whatever. If you can make it so it stays on there, but it swivels, that would be, awesome. But other than that, your invention, the Mini Mic Pro, top on. We love it. And, I believe, our listeners over in, the podcast, they're out there right now listening, on C10 American Talks. By the way, guys, if you're watching here on YouTube and you want to go hear, some awesome podcast episodes, I think we have like over 145 episodes up on the podcast, so you need to go over there and check it out. And guys, for a long time, far too often, I did not know that. Well, I only thought of it today and this morning after I woke up. But excuse me, I'm thinking, well, we have not did a podcast for, at least, a couple months. And before we're doing one every Monday, we would drop one every Monday. So I'm thinking, why don't we take and we drop a podcast every day? And we can probably do that, I'm thinking, because when I get up in the morning, I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, guys. So I thought, I'm trying this one today with the YouTube. I have the camera going for, the YouTube video. All you guys in YouTube, see me right now. And then in the background, I have the podcast software that we use to edit, the podcast going, the mic turned on. So we're talking to, the podcast, as well out there. And so after I get done with, the YouTube video, I'll take and click stop and see if, it picked up, the podcast. And then that way, then, dude, I can kill two birds with one stone. I can get that going, have this going, be talking to you guys in YouTube, be talking to you guys over on, C10 America Talks. By the way, guys, we will be looking for, more and new advertising and more and new sponsors. So if you guys out there are hearing us on the podcast, you want to sponsor there on the podcast, or, on the podcast and the YouTube, then we can hook you up with that. If you have a new shop, new garage, maybe a part, a product, a service, and you want to get it out to more and more folks, then we're the network to help you achieve that, help you do that. And what we're really building here is we're trying to build a big network, a matter of fact, a C10 America network. We have, the group, which we have over 68,000 members. Matter of fact, to be exact, we have 68.2 or 0.4 thousand members over in, the Facebook. So, guys, if you're not a member of, the Facebook group, you need to do that. Do that today. It is totally free. Just go over to Facebook. Look for C10 America on Facebook. I think we're all over on there. The algorithm over there it's nothing short of phenomenal over there. And we're trying to get into the algorithm here on YouTube, so it can start promoting our stuff, much like Facebook over there. And guys, I need to tell you, and probably you out there on C10 America, talks on the podcast probably haven't heard, but I'll tell you, probably over 2 months ago, we got an email back from Meta, the company that owns Facebook, and we get an email back, or we get a text, I guess, and they said pretty much thank you and congratulations, and we're like, okay, thank you for what, congratulations. What did we do? The more we read into it, guys, and all that, they took and they said thank you, because as long as our videos has been going on, on Facebook, we took. They said we brought over 8 million new people to Facebook just because of our videos and doing the content, and all that. And I talked to a friend, and I told her friend that, hey, I've been doing these videos almost the same for, 2 years. You think I should change it up, and they pretty much told me no, because that is what's working for you. You're talking like that, on your podcast, and, that's resonating with, folks out there. And it's so weird that yesterday we did a Facebook Live, right? And I didn't like these at first. And then Dad got me into, well, son, just think of it like this. You're trying to promote your business, trying to get people to sign up, trying to sell metal prints. And I'm all, yes, I am. And he's all, well, just think of it like that. Think of it, you're getting on there, you're selling, the prints, you're telling people about your magazine. He's even though you don't like doing, the videos and all that, so I think you'll probably end up getting better with time and all that. And he's just get on there, be yourself, don't be anybody else but yourself, and get on there and talk about your business, and talk about your metal prints, and stuff like that. And so that's what I've been doing ever since. If you think about it, guys, I've been doing videos, either lives or not lives, for 10 years. Me and Dad had been here for 10 years when we brought Mom over. God rest Mom's soul. We love her very, very much. And Mom, you know what? I'm going to see you again one day. And I'm going to hug you, hug my aunts, my uncles. We're going to have an awesome time, right up there with, Jesus, and, everybody will be, it'll be a great, awesome day up there. So, but, anyways, me and Dad moved here 10 years ago with, Mom, and I started doing the, lives right then, but the audio wasn't, that good, and the videos weren't that good, on the, old computer, and stuff like that. And then, I bought the 4K video camera, and, I got these awesome, Mini Mic Pro, mics, and, all that stuff. So, it evolved into, excuse me, I think, evolved into, something greater, something, better. But, when Meta contacted us and said, hey, you brought over 8 million new people to Facebook, that kind of blew us away. We thought, no way, and they sent us, the actual thing. I saved it, on my phone. So if any of you guys think I'm doubting you for 1 second, I can take and send you a screenshot, of that from Meta. I saved it on my phone, so I'm not just, talking. I'm not just blowing smoke, out my mouth. It's boom right there. But that's awesome when Meta contacts you and says, "Hey, you brought over 8 million new people to Facebook." That's unbelievable. But what I would try to say is, on yesterday's live, I was talking. I wasn't going by the clock or the time, anything, and we ended up doing a 2 hour long live in the group yesterday, and that was, we didn't plan it. We're just on here like we are right now, talking to you guys, and we have no script. I wrote down a couple of notes and all that, but no script. Just a piece of paper, and I wrote down, hey, talk about this, talk about that, talk about but no script, and so. The folks that came in, the live yesterday, big shout out to Roller, Anthony Jackson, Dan Jackson out there. Big shout out to my buddy Scott Stout, Roller Jeff, aka Roller, rolling with Roller, and Derek, and a lot more people that that I am not, saying right now because I don't remember right now off the top of my head. But everybody that came in, the live yesterday, who you are, and I'm talking about you guys. But the live ended up being 2 hours long, and pretty much everybody stayed in there in the live for 2 hours. And then the other day I did a live not looking at the time and all that, and that went over the 2 hour mark and all that, and everybody in that live stayed in that live for 2 hours. That was pardon me, that was freaking, awesome. And, I always told Dad, and stuff, I don't know how, some folks, do it. Just get on the mic, in front of, the computer and just start talking and all that. And guys, I don't really know how to explain it. It just probably after so many years of doing it, I feel like totally comfortable with you guys out there, and that is so awesome. And we try and always at least one day get on YouTube here, and we see all your awesome, C10 videos out there. Whatever you guys you're doing under the hood, you're doing under the truck, you're doing some sanding on it, you're doing a LS swap on it, you're finding that truck in a field, you're pulling it out from, being a barn find, whatever. We try and find these awesome videos, and we take and we put a comment on there that, hey, great video, awesome video, great content. That's awesome that you guys, excuse me, that's awesome that you guys are, putting them back on the road, getting them, giving these, awesome trucks, a second life, to get back out there and get fired up, go down the road, and, all that stuff. But anyways, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 shows that we need to get out and tell you about real quick here. First one is it's a Rat Pack car show. That car show is so awesome. It's right down in Gale, Texas. Now, I know for our friends and fans over on C10 America Talks, Gale is a little city, I should say, a little city right down there by Snyder, Texas. If you know where Snyder, Texas is, it is from us to Snyder, it's about 3.5 hour drive from here. But from Snyder to Gale, you're talking half-hour drive, so not too bad. If you're coming down to the Rat Pack, do not try and stay in Gale, because pretty much 2 things, well, 3 things. They do not have a place to eat in Gale, really sit down, to eat, dinner or, supper, however you guys say it. Number 2, they do not have a hotel down there, so you can't stay in Gale. They do not have a gas station, so you can't fill up the car or the truck, the hot rod, right down in Gale. I would say stay in Snyder, which is only half an hour away. Miss Terry and myself, every time we go down, we stay in Snyder at the Marriott, right on College Avenue or College Street, which that, I think, in my opinion and Terry's opinion, that is probably the best hotel to stay in Snyder. I stayed in another hotel. It had bugs in it. Yes, it had bugs in it. And I will never stay there again. It was a personally owned hotel. It was right when you come into Snyder. They had freaking bugs in that hotel. And I will not stay there again. So, if you're coming down to Gale for, the Rat Pack Car Show, stay in Snyder and stay at, the Marriott right across from, the Walmart on, College Avenue right there. That is, the best hotel that we've stayed in. We stay there every time we come down. So it is, freaking awesome right down there. And it is, I believe it is, I think it's dog friendly too. So that is, so awesome, right down there. It's dog friendly. So anyways, that show, the 2025 Rat Pack show, is all gone. It was an awesome show put on by my buddy David and my buddy Dale right down there at the Coyote store. Little shout out to you guys, Coyote store down there, which is an awesome venue out back, and they put on all these shows and all that down there. But that show I'm talking about is May 16th, and it's 2026, so you need to go. It is, I did not know what to, think. Miss Terry did not know what to think, before we got down there, not knowing that, this show was going to be an awesome, awesome, show right, down there. So, anyways, and then Dale and David asked me, at the end of the show, hey, do you want to come back next year? Are you coming back next year? I'm holy hell, yes, I will be back next year. It is, an awesome, show down there, and awesome, awesome rides, awesome cars, and trucks. And if you know anything about me, guys, I've been shooting photography for over 30 years. I got my start from, none other than, the hot rod icon, Boyd Coddington. And, Boyd was, excuse me, Boyd was, the granddaddy of, the hot rod. Back in the day, before, his show, American Hot Rod, and me and Dad would always see Boyd out there at, the shows, and that was so, so cool. Got a stupid hair right here. That I combed, the beard down, not up, down. Anyways, guys, we would see Boyd at pretty much, all the shows that me and Dad went to when I was probably knee high to a grasshopper. I would say maybe about 9 or 10. I remember one show that we went to at the Anaheim Convention Center, right off Cadella Avenue, right, across the street from Disneyland and, California Adventure out there. And they had the first Bigfoot out there. That was so cool. And I remember I was so small standing by, those big tires, but yet there's like so many people out there. And I remember seeing over in the distance, there was Boyd Coddington debuting one of, the hot rods that him and his team built. And I think this was well before, his TV show and, all that. So, or maybe just at the start of it. But it was so, so cool. Then real quick, guys, I'll tell you, I'm working on getting a couple of special guests for, the podcast, C10 America Talks. I know, guys, if you're out there listening on the podcast, we have, a couple guest spots, coming up soon. We took and we dialed in and we talked to Joe Coddington, which is Boyd Coddington's wife. And she's doing some awesome stuff. She is, I guess, opening her own garage. Is something the Boyd something garage. I forget the actual name of it. But that'll be cool. She's opening that. And we talked to her. I have her on, the old, phone here. I met her back in 2018, 2019. at SEMA, and she gave me her, personal number. So I got that. I got her email, all that stuff. So we're good as, gold. And Joe told me pretty much, if I ever need anything, whatever I need, don't hesitate to, pick the phone up, give her, a call, and, maybe, maybe she can come out to one of our shows that we're having, out here in, Texas, and, all that stuff. So that would be so, awesome. We have like so many awesome shows going around, here where we live. And then what's so cool about C10 America, the magazine, we're not only here in Texas, we're a nationwide digital online downloadable magazine. Now, when issue number 6 comes out, guys, it'll be available over on, the website for a download. And when every magazine issue, new one comes out, the old one goes to where you can download, the past magazine. The new one that we put up is only for subscriptions. And then, that comes down to be like a, copy like of, that issue. But every issue that we put up, it is a subscription. And every first issue, if you're not signed up, but you do it over at, the website, www.c10americamagazine.com. You go over there. If you're a member, of the group C10 America, you guys only pay $5. You contact me through the group, not on the website. If you go to the website's gonna charge you $10. If you come find me on Facebook through the group, you say, hey, you know what? I am a member. I just forgot to sign up. It's only $5 to sign up for a whole year. So whether it being, $5 or $10, it is still a smoking hot deal for $5 or $10 for 1 year, right to your inbox, right to your, email. But anyways, that other show that, I got 3 more to, talk about here. But the other show is, I want to talk about the Classic Truck Nationals put on by my buddies Sean and, Diane Settles. They put this awesome show on right down there in Gainesville, Texas. And it reminds me so much of, Terry Hill's, show out there in Waxahachie, C10's in the park. It's getting so big, it's almost getting as big or bigger than, C10's in the park. I mean, last year it was pretty big as well. That was the first year it was real big. And we're going this year not as a vendor, but we're going pretty much as a spectator, but we're going as, I guess, a, content creator. I'm getting content for the podcast you guys are on, C10 America Talks right now that you hear me on, or the one you guys see me on right here, C10 America Mornings, right here on, YouTube. And if you guys are on C10 America Talks podcast, this little audio right here, this podcast is C10 America Mornings right here on the podcast. You're listening to the audio version. If you want to see the video version, you go to youtube.com and look for C10 America, because right when I get done with this little video and podcast, it will be available on the podcast and on the YouTube. So you can go check that out. But the Classic Truck Nationals is one awesome show. It's not only Chevy, but it's Ford, Dodge, Chrysler, all that. But one thing I do have to say is me, Dad, and Miss Terry have gone like probably 3-4 years. This will be the 4th year probably. And then 3 prior years going, it has been a pretty cool show. The first one just started, getting the people out there. The second one a little better. The third one was last year. Oh my gosh, that was so awesome. And I went up and I talked to Sean, one of the promoters, and I told him pretty much flat out, point blank, you keep on doing what you're doing to, promote this show. And dude, it is going to go off like, it's going to go like bonkers. It's going to, and, if we can do anything we can, Sean, Diane, if we can do anything we can to propel your show, to, outer limits, count us in. We want to do that. We want to, because, all of us here at, C10 America, we want to help you guys out there propel and, just build on what you guys already have. Just, kind of, if you would, I want to help you guys take it to, the next level. And, you guys, you're good friends to us. You've always been, good friends ever since, you started, doing the Classic Truck Nationals, all that. And by the way, guys, you got to go see Andy Welch's truck out there, Mr. Disorder. That thing's badass. You need to go out there. You got some pretty wide meats in the back of it. And then, oh, by the way, I think Sean went out. They got Diane. I think it's either 69, 70, 71, somewhere like that. But it's like baby blue and I think white. Has some patina, on it and all that. Some nice rims on it. Kind of dropped, a bit. It looks freaking killer, man. And I'm thinking that it might be out there at the show. So that would be cool. And plus, Sean and Diane, they got a big trailer, so they can put the 2 trucks in the trailer and drive it out to, the show. That would be, awesome. And then, the Classic Truck Nationals, they're August 30th, 2025. August 30th, 2025. So, I don't know if you guys are registered out there. I don't know if they're all filled up. They're sold out. But you need to go find ClassicTruckNationals.com. That again is ClassicTruckNationals.com. Head out on the internet super highway and see if, they're sold out. But if it gets too hot out there, guys, they have like a pool recreation, center for not only the kids, but hell, you know what? It might get too hot. I might jump in there. I'm bringing my bathing suit. I'm gonna keep my bathing suit, in the car. So if it gets too hot, I'm putting all the camera stuff away in the car. I'm putting on the bathing suit and bam, I'm jumping in, the water, all that. You never know. So anyway, that is August 30th. You want to check it out. Go to the website, see if they have room for, your truck. And it's right down in Gainesville. Next, I want to talk about my buddy Curtis Hart, his buddy J.C. Reed, and Chris Walsh. They all came together for the Classic Truck Show, which is held right up there in Chickasha, Oklahoma. We went last year for, the first year of it. It was freaking awesome. By the way, guys, they gave us a spot up there at their show. Check this out. Gotta love them, for this. This is so cool. They really believe in, C10 America. And that right there is another show that we want to help grow. So guys, gals, that is another show you need to get out to, and let's blow it up. Other shows, around, the area. We need to blow, that one up. Curtis owns a little ranch up there, right? It's called the Muscle Car Ranch. The Muscle Car Ranch. Anyways, if you like old signage, you like muscle car decor, you love hotel signs, you love all the above, he has all this on his land right up there at the Muscle Car Ranch. He has 2 lakes up there. You can do, they're doing, they're letting everybody camp, either drive in your motorhome, or you can do tent camping. And he has 80 acres up there. So the car show takes place, up front, and then probably, towards the back, you might want to park the big motor homes, all that. So they can probably keep, the front for, the truck show. It's a classic truck show up there. So it is Chevy, Dodge, Ford, all that. But Miss Sherry and myself went last year, and the most trucks we ever saw were, C10 trucks up there. And check this out real quick. I'll tell you, back when we were still, the old Hot Rod magazine, we went to our first show in Oklahoma. Excuse me. And we wanted to try out, see if there was a demand, for C10 America, right? So I got 100 ball caps made up. Majority red. I got some blue and some beige, a couple pink. We go up there to the first show in Oklahoma a year ago. And all the red ball caps, boom, sold out. All the red ball caps sold out. So, to me, I'm thinking, well, hey, That's good. That's, a good start, man. There might be something there, maybe, Well, okay, fast forward to going to, you know, uh, the show with Curtis Hart, J.C. Reed, and Chris Walsh up there in Chickasha. We go up there, we set up a little booth, right? Dude, I am not joshing you. I'm not joking with you. I'm not trying to pull a fast one or anything. I am This is God's honest truth. We go up there, right? And we sell out of all the ball caps. All the ball caps. And we sell out of all the t-shirts except for two. They were, the small and, medium size. We sold out of pretty much all t-shirts and then all the ball caps. Boom, okay? And I'm thinking, okay, the first show that we went to sold out of all red ball caps. And then, the second show, we sold out of almost all the t-shirts and all the ball caps. We sold a bunch of decals. So I'm thinking, okay, and all that. And probably about that time then, we went there to that show up there in Chickasha. We had 13,000 members. That was a year ago. We had 13,000 members. Because I remember I talked to, Curtis, and I told Curtis, and I showed him on, the phone, 13,000 members, and he thought that was so cool. He was showing his brother, he was showing everybody, out there. So that was, wild out there, stuff like that. So that was, so cool. So, anyways, we want to tell you guys that Curtis and the gang, the guys up there, gave us a spot for 50, C10 trucks up there. 50 trucks. Now, we're putting a big banner up there, and we coined the phrase, the C10 America Corral. So I think that's what we're going to start doing is we're going to start finding these other shows and all that and seeing if we can show up, and be able to put our banner, up there and have maybe 20, 25 spots, something like that. But Curtis and the guys, they were so, awesome. They're giving us 50 spots. And then check this out. Check this out. That's not it. They give us 50 spots. And they said, because of how your group is growing, and all that continuous, if you fill up, check this out. If you're listening on, C10 America Talks, listen up, guys. They're going to give us another 50 spots if we fill up, the first 50 they gave us. So we fill up the first 50 they gave us, they're going to give us other spots for, trucks. So that is so, cool. Last year, I was able to walk around and get pictures of every truck out there. Every truck. So if they're Chevys, they're, C10s and all that, of course, they'll be here, on the group. If they're, other makes, other models, different trucks, they'll be over on our sister group. We have another group. We have two groups. C10, well, three groups. We have C10 America Talks. podcasts, but groups I'm talking about. We have C10 America on Facebook. We have another group because, we weren't going to make it, but, a lot of people try and sell their trucks and, stuff in our group. And we don't allow it. We set the group up with the rules that state we don't allow it. But we made another group called C10 America Buy and Sell, and that's only for C10 trucks over on buy and sell. So you sell your trucks over there. And then we have another group called America's car show scene. It's America's car show scene. And, if you know me, I've been shooting over 30 years. I've been shooting hot rods. I've been shooting, C10 trucks, all that stuff. I've been shooting over a Gas Monkey garage. I've been shooting over, for that one TV show, Dallas Car Sharks. Been shooting over at JD Shop. Been shooting over at Sue from Gas Monkey, ASM, her shop over there. So I've been shooting, all over and stuff. Anyways, that other group that we have, America's car show scene, we'll be putting other photographs over in, that group. We'll be promoting, that group as well. But right now, I want to promote, C10 America, C10 America Talks, the podcast, and our new series here on the channel, C10 America Mornings, right here, guys. And then the last one I want to talk about is C10s in the park that's put on by Terry Hill out there in Waxahachie, not too far from Miss Terry's mom and dad's house out there in Red Oak. But that show has gotten so big that I cannot cover, that show by myself. So I'm doing a call out right here on the podcast and right here on the YouTube channel, guys. I'm looking for just one right now. One photographer helper to help me when I go to C10s in the park. There are so many trucks out there. I need help taking photographs. Now, if that's you out there, I can't pay you, but what I can give you is notoriety and getting you known with your photography skills to where people will pay you to go out and start shooting, their trucks. I cannot personally pay you, but I can give you something better than being paid right now, and that is knowledge and, experience. And if that is you, contact under this video on YouTube, or if you hear this on the podcast, you can either go to YouTube, not YouTube, we're on YouTube, go to Facebook, to our group C10 America, and you can send me a message there, or better yet, if you want to, you can email me directly at Texas, all spelled out, Rich, R-I-C-H, at C10AmericaMagazine.com. That is Texas Rich at C10AmericaMagazine.com. Go ahead and do that now. You need to have I'm going to be looking for two things. Yes, I'll be vetting you guys and gals out there that want to shoot, want to, help me shoot out there at the show and all that. Uh, couple factors. You need to have your own camera. You need to have your own DSL digital camera that takes, the memory cards. I can supply you with a memory card, that day. And so everything you shoot, we'll take and we'll go through. And if we use, any of your shots, you will get credit for, every shot that we use that you guys have shot. I know some people out there, that you shoot for, they don't give you credit. Like, in the past, that, happened to myself. I mean, for example, my thing right now, I used to work a Monday through Friday job. I quit that right when I moved here to, Texas. So right now my full-time job is doing what I'm doing here. I'm talking to you guys, running that awesome podcast right back there, running, doing the lives, doing, the YouTube, everything. The YouTube here, that podcast, the lives of that magazine, the metal prints, that right there is why I say I'm a man in a one-man band. So that is what it is. I'm not saying, pardon me, I'm not saying anything bad about it. It's just, the fact of what it is. And I love it to death and, all that. So anyways, if that is you out there, you want to help, me out there, while I'm doing some shooting for, our podcasts, our lives, all that, then I'm going to vet each and every person that, contacts us. And I want to see a sample of your work. So I need to see a sample of your work. Need to know you have, that awesome, never dying passion and that love for, C10 trucks. And you need to have a DSLR camera. Either I shoot everything with my Canon. I love Canon. Whatever you guys have, that's fine. But I prefer Canon for, the sharper reds, the sharp blues, and the sharp greens. RGB, and you just tighten all those up, the colors, make them more vivid, So, that's somebody like you out there, you're saying, hey, that's me. Contact right down below or send me an email. I'm going to go through everybody with a fine-tooth comb because, we're putting out an awesome magazine. And by the way, when you guys shoot, this is what I do, and I've been doing it for 30 years. I shoot on a wide shot. I don't zoom in. If you want to zoom in, walk in closer to the car. But do not cut off the front end. Do not cut off, the back end. I'll tell you why. Because if you do that, it's going to make your picture look kind of cheesy, for one, right? You don't want to show somebody your cheesy photograph. especially if you're trying to make a career out of, photography. You don't want to shoot the back and the front off and then, oh, yeah, check this out. No, that ain't going to work. That ain't going to cut it. Sure, I take bad pictures, sometimes and all that. But you know what? I don't let you guys see them because I don't show them. And I try and always learn from, my mistakes. So number one, do not zoom in with the camera. If you want a little tighter fit, you can walk in to the subject, walk into, the car. But don't cut the back off or the front off or the hood. Leave room, ample room on the top, ground room on the bottom, on the left, and on, the right. The reason you don't want to zoom in, because when I get the photo back, I want to be able to crop in, on the computer. If you already zoomed in on a photo, I cannot crop in. I can't, if I need to make it so-and-so, small to fit on, that page, and I crop in, I'm going to take off more of, the bumper because you cropped in right to the edge of the bumper. Well, if I try and crop it, I'm going to cut like the trunk off, and that's not a good deal. So do not crop in your photos. Do it on a wide shot. Even if you walk in to a image, keep it on a wide shot and shoot it. It's still going to be a wide shot. It still should give you enough room on the front and the back and the top and the bottom. So, and then have, that awesome C10 passion and, the drive and, just pretty much, the love for, the, C10 trucks out there. And every photo that we use of yours, we'll take and we'll put photo shot by. And that will make you a published photographer. And you can take and use that when you go to somebody. Oh, yeah, hey, I shot for this magazine. I shot for, that magazine. And that, my friend, might get you to where you're starting to make money from, your photography. Be honest, guys, right when I started shooting professionally back in 1994, I did not start off making money from, my shoots. Sometimes you got to do a free photo shoot for somebody, and then other people will see those photos, and it'll take time to start making money from your photography. But you know what I say? Keep cracking at it. Keep going. Don't just sit by the sidelines and, wish and think about it and, say, oh, well, I could make this much money if, I did that. You know what? Get off your butt. Don't talk about it no more. Go out there and do it. Get it, done. I know some people out there are working 100% at what they're doing. That's great. That's fun. That's awesome. But you know what? I'm not working at 100%. No, not even. I'm working at 1,000%. I'm working at 1,000% each and every day because, C10 America is something I live for, something I love. And, Dad said it, and, too many people, said it. Even Mike Leonard, our announcer guy for the, C10 America podcast, you guys probably heard it on C10 America podcast. The intro guy that intros, that is our buddy, Mike Leonard. Awesome voice, man. Radio broadcast voice. Anyways, he said it, Dad said it. Many, many guys have, always said it. And, it comes back to me each and every time, I talk about different things. Pretty much, if you're doing something you love, you will never work a day in your life. If you are doing something you love, you will never work a day in your life. That is, the God's honest truth. That is so, so awesome. And, I live by that every day because I'm doing what I truly love. And to have, my studio in my house where I can walk down, the hallway, and I come in, that door right back yonder. And once I come into my studio, I'm in game mode, baby. I'm in game mode to get stuff done. If you look on that table right back there, that's only a few of them. Those are metal print orders done over at print right now. And I have like about 4 more sitting over on this side, or I don't know if it's this side or that side. Excuse me. But the main thing is, when I come in here, I want to get stuff done. Like, for example, that wall over there. Okay, we signed another lease, so we're here for another year. We called this home for another year. Then we'll probably be out buying Mysterium, my house out there. Okay, so we're here for a good number other other year. Now, it was probably 3 months after we moved in, I really took the idea and did the back wall here. Even though a year ago I designed that back wall, I sketched it. I did it on, the computer. Anyways, that back wall, that wall over on this side here is going to look like this wall here. So, I'm going to be doing some renovating over on, that wall. And my logic and my thinking is, what, hell, we're going to be here another year. So I want my office to look like I want, my studio to be. I want, not office. On this one part, on this side is, the office back there. The whole thing is my studio. So, I'm thinking, hey, we'll be here, another year. I'm going to make it what I want it to look like here in, the studio. By the way, guys, we're going to be looking at doing another podcast right back there. We have a new studio phone right here. All we do is plug this bad boy into that podcast mixing board right back there, and we did that awesome podcast. Real quick, guys, I want to say a big shout out here, guys and gals on C10 America podcast. I am showing a couple envelopes of stickers that people donated to us. By the way, guys, if you're out there, we have a podcast table that we're refinishing, and on the top of the table, we're gonna take and sand everything down. Excuse me. And we're putting your stickers, your decals all over that table. And then we're taking probably 4 or 5 coats of polyurethane clear coat. Probably the gloss, and we're coating 4 or 5, 4 or 5 covers of clear on the table. So it'll take the decals underneath and bring them up almost like 3D all over. So if you guys out there have any awesome decals, maybe in your shop, your garage, your man cave, your she shed, we want them. We'll take and we'll give you a plug right here on the podcast, on our lives, on our Facebook lives, on our YouTube videos, all that stuff. So if you're interested in that, contact us. You can email us over at Texas, all spelled out, Rich at C10AmericaMagazine.com. Anyways, guys, I want to say a big shout out to my buddy Brad Gardner. Brad Gardner of awesome Plain City, Utah. Big shout out to Brad. Thank you very, very much. He sent some awesome decals of his truck build into us. Here, I'll show you one. You guys out there on the podcast, you're wondering, go to youtube.com. You can watch this podcast live. You can watch what I'm talking about. Anyways, hold on, let me turn that off. I got another call coming in. Hold on, guys. Hello? Hello? Hold on. Hello, I'm sorry? Hello? Hello? Who is this? Anyways, I took him when I got a new phone, a new number, and people are still calling me from, the old, number. I don't know who, they are, but anyways, big thank you to Brad Gardner. His awesome truck right here. He made his truck into a decal. That is, it's so cool. He made his truck into, that decal. So, anyways, this is going on, the back table, right back, yonder. So, if you're looking at maybe sending in, a couple decals, even if you guys send in one decal, we're going to talk about you on the lives, on the YouTube, on the podcast, just to, tell you thank you. Then big shout out going out to a Dry Heat Rod and Custom, owned by Dan Jackson and Anthony Jackson out of Las Vegas, Nevada. These guys out here, they rock. They totally believe in, C10 America. They sent us some awesome, decals, good guys, decals. Whoa, that kind of fell. Sent us some, awesome, good guys, decals. LS Fest decals, ARP, all these, and these are all going on that table right back there. You guys see, so we're gonna be, we're not starting the table until we need to get more decals in, and when we get more decals in, then we'll start, the process, on the table. My thinking is, I could take everything off it, start doing the videos on getting the table ready, sand the table, go ahead and put the decals on it. But yet, we're going to need more decals, so I don't want to do it over again, do, another set of, videos and all that. So we're doing a 5-series video, series on, redoing that table back there. Number one, you're going to see us take everything off the podcast table, get it ready for, sanding. You're going to see us sanding that table. That might be 1 or 2 video just sanding. We're going to drop that down. You're going to see us doing the sticker application on the table. After we get it smooth, we're going to put the decals where we want them on there. Number 4, you're going to see us applying the clear coat all over, the table. So I'm thinking we might do 4 or 5, maybe even 5 or 6, coats of clear right on, that table. And that might be 2 or maybe 1 or 2 videos, putting the clear on there. But we're going to show all you guys, and it won't be one continuous, long, boring video. See me, it'll be each individual video, but we might do, maybe high speed on a part of, the video, maybe putting the stickers on. That might be, high speed, whatever, guys. So, that'll be, so cool. And then I want to say a big shout out to our buddy Rolling with Roller and Derek over there. Big shout out. He sent us this big box of decals in it. He has tons and tons of decals in there. So I want to, thank him. Thank Brad. Thank Anthony. Thank Dan. And then we got a big bag in, a couple of days ago. We got it from Iron Carriers out there. You guys rock Iron Carriers. They sent us some decals to be put out there. Sent us some, awesome, ball caps, out there. That is, so cool. The other ball cap here has their little logo faded out, on, the hat, all that. They sent us 2 shirts. The other shirt is in the other room getting clean so I can, wear it again. I love these shirts. This one is a C10 30 dually by Iron Carriers right here. The back is just the blank a t-shirt. Well, let's see here. Right back here. And these are so comfy, guys. They are so comfy, and they're so lightweight. And by the way, guys, these are, my exact size, XL. So how cool was that? So, the guys from, Iron Carriers, they watch, our lives, watch our, videos, all that stuff. So that is, so, cool. Then we're talking to Dan Jackson just, last night through text and all that. And he said that, I think I told you already, probably, by this Thursday, he's be checking your mail because, him and Anthony, they sent, us a care package, in the mail. And I said, pretty much, what for, guys? You already, sent some decals, that's awesome. We don't need, anything. And we don't really ask for anything except for, the decals that we need for that. But we're going to give you guys kudos and, talk about, the shop and all that. But other than that, we're good, good to go on that. And pretty much Dan told us, well, what, it's just a little thank you that, we want to, give you guys and, all that. But I said, hey, thank you, that's awesome. And so I guess we have to wait till Thursday, to, see what, comes. And then as soon as, we dig and we get it, you know what? I tell you what, we'll do a reveal on it. We'll do a reveal either on YouTube or over in the group on the live. We might do the reveal over on, the live, and then we'll show you what we got here on, the YouTube. So that is, awesome. Anyways, C10 in the park. It is September 20th, 2025 this year. And remember, guys, I need one helping hand out there with a camera. So have your own camera, have your own backup. Make sure you have backup batteries. I will supply you guys with a memory card. That we need that memory card back at the end of the show. And if we use any of your photography, we will put your name, associated with that photo. So if your photo is used in any way, we will put your name on there as well. So that will be cool. That's September 20th, 2025. We'll be there walking around. Hopefully, Miss Terry, myself, and Ace will be there. But if it's kind of going to be a little maybe hot day, you know what? Miss Terry can drop me off at, the show. I can go around, and then she can go, see her, mom and dad. And so I can be at the show, walking around, taking pics and, all that, stuff. That would be so cool. Anyways, pardon me. Anyways, guys, I want to talk about, real quick, our metal prints, or metal features, as we call them. Everybody that we put in C10 America, we're making metal features out of their feature, and we mock it up. It's 11 by 14. You don't want to buy one. You don't need to buy one. If you do, we have it done. So, it's already there. We show it to you. And, if you choose not to, that's okay. If you do, that's okay. Also, but if you're a member in the group, you're a member, you're being in the magazine, they are only $99. Yep, $99. Now, if you're not a member, you won't be in our magazine. You need to be a member to be in the magazine. Just go join, the group, become a member, and then, if we choose, your truck out there, your friend's truck, make sure, they're a member, and then we'll throw them in the magazine, and you get a metal feature for $99. If you want a metal feature and you're not a member, we don't mock them up if you're not in the magazine. We do have these awesome posters on the wall. They go for $85. They're 20 by 30. No, they're not framed. They're digital, and we email them to you. They're $85. We need 4 photos, the main photo, and then 3 photos underneath in, the film strip right down below. We need, some content about your truck, and all that we throw on there. For, they're not metal prints, but they are digital renderings of our posters, mannequin posters, and you take that file and you go to either CVS, you go to Michael's, you go to Walgreens, or you go to Walmart, and you have an awesome 20 by 30 printed on photo paper, and then you can have it put on a foam board and get a frame for it. But we did sell those before done in the frame. No more. We only do it digital. So if you want a digital poster, they're $85. But if you're a non-member, you want to feature, we don't feature you in the magazine. You need to be a member to do that. We just started doing awesome show boards. They're beautiful, my friend. We have some in the group, over on Facebook. Check them out. They're metal show boards, 20 by 30, like our regular our regular metal prints are 20 by 30, but they're landscape. Well, our metal prints are 20 by 30, but up and down. So anyways, we have, a couple of samples over in, the group. I'll see if I can't put one right here on, YouTube for you guys to check out. And then signups, for the magazine, they're $5. For members, pardon me, $10 for not. So if it's $10, or if you're not a member, it's $10. Sorry, you got tongue-tied there for a minute. But if you are a member, you're talking $5, and that is for a year. And we're doing something here that a lot of people out there do not do, and I wish they would do it follow us. I do not like automated bill pay. That sucks. And that's how I got in trouble in the past with my own bank. You know, automatic bill pay. Nah. So if you sign up for the magazine, you only sign up for a year. And that's it. If you want to come back to us and sign back up, that's fine. We're not going to sign you back up. Some people out there might say, oh, hey, it's only $5. It's only $10. It's $5 or $10 of your money. And we're not going to do that. We don't like it done to us, so we're not going to do it to, you guys out there. So, and then let's see, podcast guest coming up. We put an email out to Jay Leno. We have yet to hear back from Jay. We'll be putting an email out to Tim Allen. We have to put another email out to Jill Martin, get him on the podcast. I did talk to Jill Coddington. She's coming on whenever we set a date. She'll be on. And matter of fact, one of the posts that I put up in, the group, I was looking for only 6 more, trucks for, the next issue. Well, I got maybe 100 or under 100, people that posted, pictures of, their truck, or right under, 100. And the views of that post that I put up, it reached 14.1 thousand people in, the group. How cool is that? That's awesome. And to think I was only looking for 6, but I had 14.1 thousand people view, the post. That is, so awesome. Anyways, this video is brought to you guys by Boss Hog Torque Converters. They're out of Muscle Shoals, Alabama. I want to say a big shout out to my buddy Nelson Gill over there at Boss Hog. His awesome daughter, Nora. You guys knock it out of the park each and every time. You know what, Nora? Keep on listening to Dad, because Dad is going to show you and tell you everything you need to know in, that there, company. I want to say a big shout out to, a couple of advertisers, here on YouTube, the Facebook, and, all that stuff. Like I said, Boss Hog is, the sponsor that brings you these videos right here on YouTube and on the podcast. Thank you guys, very, very much for, being a part of, the family and believing in us. We believe in you guys as well. And then, let's see. Need to say a big shout out to yesterday's 50s Diner right down there in awesome Bridgeport. That is Matt right down there. So big shout out to you down there. Plus, we're going to go down there and make a YouTube event. We're going to try their ice cream right down there. And we'll have, a couple different cameras, back there. So we can have this on, tape and YouTube and Facebook and, all that. I want to say a big shout out to Loaded Dice Speed Shop. Loaded Dice Speed Shop. We love you guys out there. You guys knock it out of the park, on your bills and, everything. That's our buddy Aaron Weaver out there. His awesome wife. And what's so cool is, Aaron is going to be the same type of guy out there at the shows than he is in the shop. So when you meet Aaron is, a down-heart teddy bear, man. I mean, you're going to like him from, the get-go. So from, meeting him, say, at his shop out there in Frisco to meet him out there at, the Classic Truck Nationals, Sean and Diane show out there in Gainesville, he's going to be, the same guy. And that's awesome. Thanks for being that way, being down home, being humble. And most of all, thank you for, the couple years of, supporting C10 America. You guys are, you're just awesome. Then I want to say a big shout out to Sweet Patina. A big shout out to Sweet Patina. Blake and his dad over there, you're doing an awesome, awesome job. I think, the first time that my dad met Blake and his dad was like probably, a couple years back, up there, maybe 4 years back, up there in, C10 Nationals, right at the Texas Motor Speedway. So you guys out there, you're awesome. And you can find them sweetpatina.com on the interweb out there, or, here on Facebook, over on IG, maybe even on TikTok, guys. They're like blowing it up all over. Sweetpatina.com. Check them out today. They're awesome, guys. Then a big shout out. I want to talk about Rad Ron's Radical Rides. That's my buddy Rad Ron himself. He's the one behind the build of our buddy Tom Mitchell's truck, which Tom is a moderator right here in, the group. So big shout out to, Ron out there for building, that awesome, truck. And by the way, Tom is building an awesome truck for his wife. And that is so cool. So we need to get over there and do a story with, Tom and, all that, guys. But pretty much, I want to really thank all our advertisers, sponsors, and, last but not least, I want to say a big shout out to Connor's Car Show over in Keller. Thank you guys for letting Dad, Miss Terry, and myself be a part of it. And, that little guy out there that loves giving a knuckle is Connor's. Connor, we love you, man, right out there. But I want to say thanks to each and everybody, out there, and even, the folks still listening to us over on C10 America Talks. I did not forget you guys are still out there, because I don't see the recording. I only see, the recording of the YouTube. I know you guys, you're still out there. We love you. And, if you guys out there want to, advertise on, the podcast or whatever, you can advertise, or you can sponsor for 3 months or all 6 months, and we'll give you pricing, on that. So if you advertise on the podcast, we're going to put you on the YouTube and the lives. So you're advertising on one thing, but we're going to put you on 3. If you advertise on the YouTube, we're going to put you on the lives, and we're going to advertise you on the podcast. So that's awesome. if you advertise in the magazine, we're going to put you on the lives, on the podcast, and the YouTube. How cool is that? Right before I get off here, guys, guys that can't see on the podcast, I'm holding up, some awesome C10 America decals. And I dropped that one. We took him, we started, the brand C10 America. It's been going for about 3 years. We started the group over in Facebook, about 2.5 years ago. Then Miss Terry and my dad got talking to me, and they're all, you know what? Excuse me. You should really think about putting your stickers into a sticker pack, and all that. So I did. So anyways, I'm gonna break them down what you guys are getting for $10. By the way, guys, out there on the podcast, you're only hearing this. If you want to see it, you can go to youtube.com, look for C10 America, and you can watch the podcast live right on there. Anyways, guy, the first decal, upside down. First decal is, was that upside down? No. Okay. C10 America Stars decal. You're getting one of these in your pack here. Let me put that down here and that down. And that down here. Then you're getting the C10 America Square Body decal. Now, I need to say be a little transparent about this decal. It has our logo on it behind probably 79 awesome C10 square body truck. We did not design the square body. I cannot design, that nice of a truck. So I paid somebody online to design the square body. We bought the rights. We own the rights. So I put the C10 America logo behind, the truck. So you'll be getting one of those decals. Then the decal that started everything, the square C10 America, kind of yellowish gold color in the back of it. C10 America decal. That's in it. Number 4 is, the logo. It looks like kind of a military logo with, it looks like wings on the left and the right side. It is the Wings Across America decal. So everybody seems to love, these. They kind of remind you of military. So that is, the 4-pack that you guys get when you go to buy, the 4-pack. But just because you guys want to buy a 4-pack, we're going to give you another C10 America Stars decal absolutely free. We're going to take that, we're going to throw that in, the mix. So it went from a 4-pack to a 5-pack right here. Then back in the day, me and Dad started the Hot Rod magazine, Busted. We made some decals to promote that magazine, like, C10 America. This decal I got busted in Texas will never be made again. We're not making this ever again. So we're taking this, we're putting it in the sticker 4-pack. So it was a 4-pack, it became a 5-pack. Now it's a 6-pack. Then we have one more decal, the Busted, the original Busted logo that was on the magazine, on the hats, on the shirts. We're taking that, we're putting that inside the sticker pack. So it went from a 4-pack to a 5-pack to a 6-pack to right now it is a 7-pack decal. 7-pack decal. So I think right now what I have in the envelopes is you have a 6-pack right now in the envelope. So I'll go ahead and get those out. So you got 6 stickers for only $10 over at the website www.c10americamagazine.com. All you guys need to do is go to the website. You'll see it on the store page, and you can buy that 4-pack. Well, really, it's a 4-pack right there, but you're getting 5, 6, 2 more decals for free. And then the next run, we'll do the 7-pack. So I think there's only 6 decals in, the envelope. So I don't want to tell everybody there's 7 decals in there, and then you pay that $10 and you get only 6 in there. I don't want to be like that. So we'll do a 7-pack, on the next run. Every time we, put decals in the envelope, we'll put 7 instead of 6. I meant to do 7, but I had 6 in there, sealed them up already. So it is what it is. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching us here on YouTube. I think it's been like about 2 hours or more. So anyways, we want to take and get off here. I need to go do some honeydews and all that. I think Miss Jerry and myself, we're living here at 3 o'clock. We need to go do a couple of things. I need to do some things in the studio. But hey, you guys out there are still listening on C10 America Talks. You guys are champs for listening for this or listening to this awesome video and audio part. You guys, you're hearing C10 America mornings, and you guys right here are watching C10 America mornings. We got up a little late this morning, but hell, guys, it is Sunday, and during Monday, I'm getting up at 5 o'clock every morning to bring you guys awesome content. And like I said, there's some folks out there working 100%. That's great. That's awesome. Kudos to you guys. I'm not. I'm working 1,000%. I'm working 1,000%. When I'm not working, I'm working. If I'm sitting on the couch in there, spending quality time with, the future wife, I am working because, I got the phone right there. I'm doing stuff on, the phone or, whatever. So anyways, once again, thanks for watching. And, if you guys, you're out there listening, keep on checking out our awesome, podcast episodes. And, if you're watching here on YouTube and you have, pardon me, the nose, if you're watching here on YouTube and you guys have never heard any of our episodes check this out. We're on Spotify where Joe Rogan is. And we have people from Japan. We have people from Saudi Arabia, people from, Sweden, people from, the UK, India. They're listening to our, podcast. And this has been, a brand new series on C10 America Talks called C10 America Mornings. Sorry, it's not really morning no more, but it was when we got up, this morning. We love you guys. We'll talk to you guys soon. But hey, tune in tomorrow. We're doing another C10 America Mornings on YouTube. And then remember, we're doing a live over on, the group, in the group on Facebook, C10 America at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Go over there, become a member, and you guys get all the stuff and member pricing. All right? We love you, and we'll see you guys over there. Take an awesome day. Make it more awesome. And stay blessed. We love you. Take care, guys.